I know it looks rough, but this thing has so much history. This is my brother's truck, manual. You know, we lost him a few years back, and this was his project. You think I'm crazy, look at his stuff.
So you're saying that the kind of craziness runs in the family. You're not the only one with the affliction. This thing is weird.
My brother started the craziness, and we're gonna finish the craziness.
I guess Manny was going for some kind of like ultimate tailgate party vehicle, and Victor wants to run with that concept, but I don't know what that means.
Don't look at it the way it is now. Look at it as us changing it into the ultimate party vehicle.
Party barge.
Yes.
Now we're getting somewhere.
You know what? And I had visioned as this thing in my dream.
Nightmare?
No, it was no nightmare. It was like a vision. I mean, we need to get this out of here, and let me get some lines on here, and I'll show you what I was visioning.
I can see this project is really special to Victor. You know, it's a piece of his heart involved with it. I'm gung-ho. I'm going along for the ride 100%. I'm really excited to see what his transformation entails. I guess we're building this thing. It's been one day since I saw the project last. Now we got it in the shop. If you know Victor like I know Victor, the whole plan could have changed. I gotta say, I'm not as optimistic as I was yesterday. You're talking about diamond in the rough, and that's a hard sell. I'm not sure where you're going with this.
Do you need glasses or something? Look at that thing.
Right. That's the problem. As a fabricator, I'm looking at what happened, so let's look through that and see where it's going. Victor's got his concepts, and I've got my wish list. Of paramount and primary importance is to get this roof off the vehicle, whatever it takes.
All right, ready?
Just like that, my mind is free of that ugly roof. Whoa, look at the structure in there, man.
I wonder why they would have built double walls, though.
It looks like somebody was changing their mind.
I think they were teaching somebody what the heck to do there.
All right, I gotta confess. It was me that did this many years ago.
So you did this. When did you guys
I didn't do the welding. Look how professional the structure is. I had that helper, Trent.
Yeah.
I was teaching Trent fabrication, and it was actually his pet project.
Well, I had a little input too, but I didn't see what you guys did. I just was involved with talking about it. So.
And he would come to me and he'd just say, I want a few minor enhancements, and things changed and changed and changed. There are things like skeletons in the closet. You know, everybody's got their, oops moments, the stuff you don't talk about. It's already, man, look at this. This is more like it. Look at all this room in here. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Yes. Feel better about this than you did 10 minutes ago?
Oh, yeah, that roof, I don't want to say I've held a grudge for 15 years, but it's all behind us now. Onward and upward. I can't say that I've waited my whole life to build the ultimate party barge, limo, cruiser, tailgate machine, or whatever it is, but here we go. Regardless of the direction that this project takes, we're gonna need to start with a clean slate, and that means cleaning everything. The whole concept of this vehicle is fun time party machine, right? So gotta just try to keep that vision, that vibe through the whole project. And starting a project with a fixed set of parameters, a known outcome, is probably a lot easier, but I thrive on the weird stuff. I wanna work on the things where anything's possible and the end result is not known. With the body panels removed, I wanted to media blast everything and bring it all down to bare metal. This dustless blasting system is spraying water all over the bare metal, so it's naturally gonna start to rust again once you finish it. So after you get all the heavy crud off, I go back with a sander and just try to get everything as clean as possible. This is not that glamorous, it's purely preparation, but You're kind of romancing it. You're learning what it's all about, what's beneath the skin, so to speak. And I got a million ideas what to do next. In a strange turn of events, Victor has called me back out to his junkyard yet again.
Ian, check it out back here. Isn't that beautiful?
That is. I recognize that nose. What's going on with the rest of this thing?
Well, I had another vision. After we seen the truck and we stripped it, I said something doesn't feel right. So I said, hey, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 Lincoln Zephyrs.
Yeah.
Why don't we put a Zephyr front end on this thing?
Hey, great concept. You don't really seem to have much here, though. I mean, is there anything more?
So I got the fenders, the grill, the hood, next door, and the trailer. So you could cut up anything you want and make it work.
Believe it or not, between me and Victor, I am the voice of reason, so it's up to me to state the facts of reality.
All right, another fine adventure. Let's see what else you got.
I've seen these Zephyr bodies in the yard before, but I haven't seen any of the other parts, you know. This is a great concept, but if he doesn't have the goods, this could be a whole new can of worms.
Oh, yeah. That's a stash of Zephyr parts. It's all here. You got stuff, sir. You got red, white, like a peach color, and green. You got all the parts right here.
Yeah, Ian, look, I even got Jeffrey from Toys R Us.
Is this finally your bucket list? You've got the giraffe, you've got the Zephyr, you got the bubble top. Is there anything else?
Today, no. Tomorrow's another day.
You can't make this up. You know, Victor's process is definitely not in a straight line. You know, there's left turns, there's right turns, sometimes there's U-turns. I just put the blinders on. I have no fear of consequence, etc. If it's a good idea, we're doing it.
It's definitely all here, man. And 6 hubcaps and a spare. It's a perfect starting point.
So there's all the stuff you need. I've done my job. Call me if you have any questions.
I've got
See
questions.
when it's done.
I've got questions.
This is where we get to the good part. You know, Victor throws out this wild card, this crazy concept, and I know exactly how I'm gonna do it. Now that Victor and I have concluded our fantasy discussion on how this thing could flesh out, it's time to get down to the reality of the matter.
So I'm gonna try to just detach these hood and fender mounting points and the grill surround and bring it over there.
The philosophy in this dissection is take the easy way out. Look at all the weakest points and remove just what you need. Victor thrives in the, you know, decision-making process, right? He's just like, I want this, that, and that. I'm a little skeptical because they definitely don't fit together. It's up to me to pull it off.
So if all my calculations are correct, I have liberated the nose of the vehicle. Like butter. Now we're gonna go back to the lab, see how this all fits together.
First mode of operation is to always just stand back and get an impression. You know, do I like it or do I don't like it?
Here's where the plot thickens. If your fender is matching the fender on the truck, you'd see the hood height is pretty radically different, as well as a host of other things.
Mating these two pieces together is going to be a major issue. You know, I'm not disputing my original statement, but just look at this. The effort is going to be well worth it. That's the hard part, you know. The viewing audience may not see what Victor and I see by just sticking that nose on there. They're like, what? I'm like, no way, whatever it takes. Look at that. Seeing all the parts lying around separate, you know, it's one thing. The concept's another. Getting things kind of squared off and, you know, visualizing if it's possible, you know, now I'm convinced I'm going all the way.
You know, it's definitely got the look. I could see it. I don't know if anyone else can, but it's just gonna take a bunch of cutting.
fitting this up, you can see there's definitely way different proportions in the two vehicles. So as usual, I'm taking baby steps. Just fit it up, cut away, keep working it until it feels right.
That's a great looking truck. Look at that.
Nose is starting to look good, you know, small step in the right direction. This Zephyr front end swap is really taking shape, but the key component, you know, to selling it is how the front hood fits.
So just to say, as if the floor was the height of the fender lip right there, right? That's a significant difference. If I set the Zephyr hood on the truck, there's going to be that huge gap between the two. And it also doesn't fit the cowl. You know, if you look at these two V's, this V here is a totally different orientation of the front of the windshield than the Zephyr had.
The two key components that I'm working with are the truck hood and the Zephyr hood, and I need to mix them up somehow that comes off convincing. The proportions are way out. It's got to look like it counts.
So you can see it's completely not the look we're going for.
Regardless of which hood is easier to splice in to this concept, the Chevy truck hood is just wrong on the whole front end.
Let me lay that hood on top, take a look. The thing I'm really concerned with is this height, right? I don't want it to look broken. I don't want it to look just, it's gotta flow.
In the whole process, it's important to stay absent-minded. Some folks would stay open-minded. Some folks would just get stuck on things. But just let the void be the void and let the hands do the work. Somehow it happens.
You know, I just had an idea. The edge of that hood is just sheet metal. There's no special bracketry in there. Being that the Zephyr hood is so much longer, maybe I'll just cut this sheet metal to fit this cowl and then build off of it. We don't even have to, I thought I was gonna fuse the two hoods together, but that seems like it's going in the completely wrong direction.
Every project has its own vibe, that's all I could say. If I was a pro, I'd stick to the rules. I'd just let the truck or the vehicle tell me what to do.
End result, this rear portion needs to be significantly wider. There's a couple ways to go about it. Cut this hood right through the center, which I don't want to do. It's always an easier way around things. So I'm going to get rid of this structure first and lay it on here. Maybe this thing will just open up a little bit. I don't know.
If I could get this hood into shape without any major slices down the middle, everything will be better in the long run.
Stick it on there and see what happens. Ha! Better than it were. There's your trace line.
This is the simplest template ever. That's all it comes down to, you know. Use your part and trace it. No measuring needed.
It's all just a rough layout, but that's the best starting point I can think of. Not too Chevy.
There may be a more scientific way to do this, but hey, whatever gets the job done.
We just look right to here,
And we see that there's a difference of 2 inches.
I'm measuring the nose to the nose. It's a 2-inch offset. It's a piece of 2-inch steel. That there is your contour.
I guess this whole style of metal forming, I use the word style loosely, this technique is purely by necessity. Having nothing, you figure out how to do something.
Like a glove. Another couple trims, we're in the game.
I throw a few tacks on the rear of the hood just to keep everything in place while the rest of the fit up begins.
This is what the whole hood issue's been leading up to. Truck's coming through nice and graceful, hits the hood, and looks broken. The only way through it is to raise the front of the hood. You know, you could do some kind of an arching shape or whatever, but firstly, I need to raise up this thing on some kind of a shim and take another look at it. Sold. I love how it looks a little more aggressive and nosy, because, you know, right? It's just my style.
I mean, it's not too often this happens, maybe only once in a fabricator's career when the builder and the car start to look alike.
The tool you've heard so much about, but if you look just right, the body line flows right through that hood.
This mock-up is definitely presentable at this stage, but I have some ideas that will push it over the edge.
My plan for this, after having trimmed it up and attached the fenders to this front nose piece, I think it's gonna go a lot smoother if the entire nose of the vehicle is one piece. It slides forward and tilts, so it's a really fast end to this task. You know, we're putting in a new engine, transmission, airbags, the whole deal, so just to expedite the process, this will be completely out of the way, so it can be into body work while we're doing the mechanical stuff.
The whole thing is Victor had no demands except put that Zephyr on that truck, so it's free reign. I'm doing exactly what I want. You know, this is my wish list with this slide tilt mechanism.
Always remember, if you have the option between the cool sunglasses and the weird ones, always choose the weird ones.
The front of the truck frame is extending beyond the Zephyr nose, so off it goes. Normally I would, consult with the client, but Victor's direct words was, that's not my problem. So I get to do whatever I want.
Now let's see how these things fit.
I want to get this grill temporarily in place. That's a primary element in the fit up of it. The front end's been smashed. I want to make sure the stock grill's set in there to keep everything oriented properly.
Oh, that's the sound of adjustment. Like when I go to the chiropractor, sounds just like that.
It's of primary importance that these grill pieces fit. If they don't fit up now and we're already down the road, it's going to be a disaster.
Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Definitely helps the whole front end though. Now that that is established, let's get on with the hinge and the pivot. The push of a button, I want this entire nose to launch into outer space. You shoot for the stars, you might just reach the moon. So I'm planning for this thing to jettison into orbit. If it doesn't, it's just going to slide and tilt. Either way, I win. What I've assembled is this trailer hitch stock, just like in the back of your pick-em-up truck. Well, you got these nice flat plates, one side on the truck, one side on the slide-em-a-bobber.
I've done this concept a few times before and it's always worked out great. The whole challenge here is in the sliding mechanism, it's got to be well reinforced so that they stay parallel, it stands the test of time. There's a huge amount of leverage on this when it's working, so it's got to be strong.
For some reason, I'm always just using stuff that's laying around.
I love the idea of a one-piece nose. I mean, that's probably why people started doing that. Why do they modify anything? So it's like you show up, it's like, wow, one-piece nose. It's a tilt front end. Who doesn't like that? The whole thing I'm doing here is to get this strong enough to present as a concept. Hey, look, it works, right? Later on, there'll be a lot more heavier structure inside. This is just to sell the concept.
I think the hinges are good to go. It should slide and tilt. If it doesn't, you're fired. It's like everything else, you don't know till you try it, right?
This is exactly what I needed to see, I kind of knew the concept of the hinge and slide was going to work, but the actual Zephyr nose is something I've never accomplished, so it looks good to me. It's going to work.
All right, so I'm really happy with the way this whole thing operates. The tilt, the slide, it's all right there. The big issue I'm having is this door. When the fender shuts, it completely blocks the door. There's no way that's gonna open without some major surgery. So while Victor's in crazy mode, I'm gonna pitch him an idea that just might seal the deal. Zephyr hood just isn't gonna fit. Now, Victor is a busy man. He's very confident at this point with my ability to fabricate, and that's a good sign. So he says, go for it. I'm going for it. As they say, it's always easier to ask for an apology than forgiveness.
The good thing about Victor being gone is I get to do exactly what I want, and there's a whole other thing I want to try here.
So therein lies the issue. Does that truck look broken to you? Looks broken to me. I know the front of this hood has to come up. It's just way too low. So that's when the decision-making starts. Well, is it that much?
You don't need any fancy lines or renderings or laser levels or anything. Just, does it look good or don't it look good? The whole thing is looking at the bed rail, into the door, and then across to the hood. And looking at this, it is nose down just a touch. So it looks pretty good to me. This truck is, it's just different. You know, this bulge, the pronounced bulge is supposed to be up here, not down here. So as much as it does line up, I'm just concerned that it's gonna be like a muffin top. Each problem requires a unique solution. Fortunately, I have years and years of just winging it under my belt. So if you just whack it with a hammer, you're prone to denting it. So using slow, steady, somewhat soft pressure, the proof's in the pudding.
Nobody talked to the boss. This was a very technical operation. I had the sheet metal brake, the shrinker, the stretcher. I had a shop full of stuff. I utilize it all. All right, that's gonna work. What I discovered is that it actually works better upside down, and on the flip side, instead of adding this big bulge on top of the bulge, I reversed it so the flatter side is meeting the top. The advantage to these hood sides is that they match the contour of the truck cowl. They're already curved, it's just a slight mod. Simple as it appears, they are stretched in two directions. It's more of a bowl shape than just a roll. Now looking down the lane, totally works. That's the right call. Look at that. So it's just like a little right there instead of going over up top. So the old upside down and flip it around technique. I'll get into my idea for the nose of this. Like I say, I got a thing for the beak. Nobody tell Victor what I'm doing, because it's pretty significant. This whole front portion is smashed. You can see the cast grills don't even match up with the surface. There's a whole bunch of lead in there. It's all old. I think what I want to do is just build a complete new grill surround with all new sheet metal from this point down. Like the bow of a mighty vessel. In technical terms, we're going to perform a bit of rhinoplasty. That totally works. It's hard when there's holes in things. You can't judge the surface area, but that looks like a Zephyr truck, for sure. Like a cab over truck or a big truck will always have a bigger nose, and it does. I got this Zephyr-nosed truck transformation pretty well underway. I'm feeling good about it.
Yo, already you're this far along?
Said do what I needed to, right?
Wow. It looks better than I pictured it in my mind. I mean, it's a shark coming at me. I mean, you're looking at the front of the Titanic coming towards you, man. I mean, what'd you do? That thing got like another foot on there, like.
Basically, like if it was silly putty or clay, I just took the hood and went up and forward.
A lot of times I see Victor come through that door with concern in his eyes, you know, the list of enhancements rolling.
Wow. I don't see any lines. How we're gonna open the hood? Are you cutting that in now or what?
The one trick thing I did, you know, the hood and fenders are all sealed up. So it's actually a one-piece nose. The whole thing slides forward, and then it tilts up, like that.
Wow.
I'm pulling all of Victor's tricks on Victor. He's speechless, and he's out of enhancements.
You know me and all my trick gadgets, the hood's gotta open, the trunk's gotta open. You're getting good, man. You're like figuring out everything that I was gonna do. Now it's done.
Looks like Victor is soaking up all of my ideas. I've just got one more big one to pitch.
So the thing is, with this door and fender issue, the door is just not gonna open, you know? Becomes like one of those old Chevy fleet lines or something.
Yeah.
It's in the way of the door, 100%. I'd like to seal these doors up completely, just like I sealed the hood. You want a boat, right? You ever seen a boat with doors in it?
Not yet.
Yeah.
We can't shorten the look of the front fenders. That's the character of the whole thing. Unfortunate result of that is that the doors won't open, and you know, the doors do look a little bit small in proportion to the whole side wall of the vehicle, so why not just delete them?
Then how do I get in this thing?
Like a boat. How else? You enter through the center. You walk right at, look. There is no doors, it's a boat. You just step right in, right? You come up, this is your walkway. What's more natural than that? So you get in the boat, right? This is open. You hop in, bring up the anchor, and you go cruising. You're calling it the cruise liner. It's gotta be a boat all the way through.
Make the entry in the back. Hey, can we make this thing float while we're at it?
Anything's possible, man.
We'll go sailing.
I'm getting the captain's hat. We're setting sail.
Look how sleek it looks.
That's pretty interesting. What are we doing?
With Victor fully committed, I got the doors sealed up. Finished the hood and added a custom panel to bring it all together. Then we went straight into a mock-up for the boat windshield. When people see a finished car at a car show, they really have no idea at what type of conversation it's taken to get there.
Nothing says boat windshield like a polished top rail. And it rigidizes it too.
Yeah, look at that.
Totally cool.
The whole plan here is revamping the entire inside of this vehicle. Now, Victor's concept always revolved around this thing being a people mover, so that's the challenge, you know. He wants 6 or 7 people in the back of this thing, and it's gotta look cool, so the stakes are fairly high. First step here is removal. Out with the old to make room for the new. Normally, when you're cutting out a major structure like this, there would be a lot of concerns. You'd have to do a bunch of bracing, but with the doors being welded shut and the nose being in one piece, it's gonna be okay. Trust me.
This thing is cleared out. It's definitely a walk-through design. First step is to set up a big old straight edge and draw a line in space. I mean, on the truck.
Victor's concept from the start with this thing was all about the back of the truck. We came up with some pretty cool concepts for the nose of this thing. It's gotta translate right out the back end. I just try to keep the momentum rolling.
Aha! So that looks good to me. I mean, there's plenty of room in the tire at that height. That's the seat height. And that's the floor height. You don't want to be sitting much lower than that. See what I'm saying? We're just gonna have to carry small people in the back.
I'm always thinking 10 steps ahead to work through any potential problems before they happen.
Let me lay this out on a couple little stands right here, and then we'll see where we're at. Because I don't know if I like what I see. The whole thing is, how high up do we want this seat bottom?
I've worked with Victor for so long, I can just about picture his exact response.
Ian, what's up?
Wow.
You made a lot of progress. You know, I like it, but I just want to see that corner rounded, and it's a keeper. I
Told you he was gonna say that. I found this piece of round ring laying around, so I put it in the roller just to get the radius I need.
So that'll work. That'll take that hard edge off. Bink. That'll go to there, that'll go to there.
Ian, how's it going?
Hey, hey.
Wow. You know what? It looks better than I thought it was gonna look.
It's like deja vu in this room.
But
What?
that's perfect. So we have how much seating area?
About 17, 18, depending on where you
perfect. You got it, you nailed it.
I love standing behind it and looking right through to the firewall. I made that mention earlier. It's like these rails are a trajectory going right into the engine. It's cool. We still have a ton of design work to do on the rear, but before we do that, I want to nail this side profile.
It looks bigger than I thought. I was thinking maybe we should have widened the vehicle another 6 inches, but hey, that's enough room for what we need. 10 adults in this thing, and 1 child.
10 little adults, yeah.
And 1 dog.
I'm not saying anything. The last thing I want to get into is widening or lengthening this body, so yeah, sure, we could fit 10, 20, 30 people, you know. Victor's an optimist. Let it roll.
Check this out. I got some new tires and wheels. It's not exactly what I want, but I got 2 out of 3 elements.
What are you doing, build another supercar? Victor rolls in this set of tires, and these aren't exactly what I was expecting.
I got the width and I got the depth.
Victor's style is fairly predictable. It's always big, fat, white wall tires. Not this time.
What is this, 12 inches wide? 315, 35, 20.
That look isn't going with this Zephyr, you know, cruise liner look. The basic concept is there. We do our little modification. I mean, what don't we change? I mean, if we're changing a vehicle, might as well adjust the rims a little.
Of course, we're gonna modify the rims. You know, normally you just buy the exact style you're looking for, but not us. Just the classic look of this, I mean,
This style, I mean, this fits the rig perfectly. So, I mean, just imagine, you know, just for conversation, imagine something similar to that.
That's it exactly right there.
the rim modification, just like anything else, we're going to make a few minor enhancements.
It's gonna be like, wow.
You know, he loves the idea of the big diameter rims, and I love the idea of that mega offset. Little rim modification is in order, but we got two great things coming out of this set. Just like with the front fenders, they're so wide, we need to match that with the rear. You know, we need to puff these rear fenders way out, and this is gonna fill that up for sure.
Are these both gonna fit on there? They're not gonna like rub in the middle?
I don't know.
Because I don't know if we got enough space in here.
Yeah, those tires, I like them, but they're massive. They're never gonna fit in those fenders.
Now we gotta modify that too. Can we just bring something in and just put it on the truck someday?
Some projects simply consists of adding elements onto the design, and this project's in the opposite direction. We have been cutting apart everything just to create this blank slate and then build on top of it. That's a massive hole in the truck. Takes a bit of mental fortitude.
Mission accomplished. Whoa.
My highest aspiration is to always build like the cartoon car, right? Something that just looks out of this world. This wheel and tire combo nails it.
Who in their right mind would put two 20s next to each other? I don't know, it looks pretty interesting. I like it.
I gotta see it with that front tire on. Hot rod flavor, big and little tires. You hear it all the time. Victor did the same thing. Front two tires are a little bit smaller than the back. Whoa, yes. Look at the freaking lip on that thing.
That thing's pretty mean looking.
Because these fenders are split in half, I want to make sure they stay on the same plane. You know, I don't want the front or the back sticking in a different direction. It goes up the ramp and then it loops around. It looks fast. The whole back end of this truck is going to be completely redesigned. My main focus right now is on these wheel surrounds and just getting the fenders to look right. The beauty of these manufactured parts is they are stamped one shape. That's where you get these awesome curves. There are machines that could pull this for me, but I don't have that. Not today. These fenders are pretty dimensional, big compound curves. So by using multiple strips like this, it's a fast and efficient way to get the contour I need. Just fit in one piece, get it set up in the orientation I need, and add to it. Just like I did with the front fenders, I'm gonna enhance the living heck out of this whole truck. I mean, he's never seen enhancements like this. Oh yeah. So you can see how that template transferred right to the steel, and it's all just tacked in. It's gonna be a lot of welding, but just look at that result. The rear fenders will ultimately have some kind of a skirt to really finish it off, but right now I have something else on my mind. It's just a complete revisioning of the rear end. I don't like the way it's put together. I don't like the welding. I don't like the look of these brick and mortar seams. Just like the original roof on this truck, I want the whole back of this thing gone. It's gonna be way easier to fabricate from new than try to repair this mess. Look at that. There lies the next challenge. Just like everything, made a paper template, made a steel piece, and this is gonna fill that whole wall in one shot. I was thinking, how am I gonna make this skirt in one piece so that it doesn't deform? And I remember we have all this extra plastic. Dig on this. You know, every time you put up a paper or any other material to make a template, you're always wondering what's going on the other side. Now we know. I can see what the fender line actually is and then come in with a number of different ideas that are see-through. I tell you, the best job I ever had. Getting the last part of these fenders mocked up, I got everything in place. I love the way we curved the front of that one.
I mean, look at the way that flows. Zephyr.
Yeah.
Zephyr. That came out nice.
The one thing we have to discuss is what the wheel opening is going to look like. You know, that's what these big slabs are for. I was just setting up a big generic shape so I don't warp it. We'll just trace this out, and then I'll come underneath with a heavy steel rod and reinforce it.
Can we take that cardboard out so we can literally see the tires so we know where we're going to?
Do you want to see the tires? I'm going to show you the greatest template idea in the history of carbon. So all of a sudden you have a see-through car.
All right, cool.
You can see the tires and you know where you're going.
That's an expensive template. That's about 80 bucks worth of Lexan there.
I know. The thing about the see-through template is that typically if you see me, I'm feeling out contours and just kind of sketching ideas. Right here, it's visual. You're looking right at your part.
I want to mimic that same kick in all the way down to here, so it's round.
So now we weld the steel in and we screw this right on top of it. We have a good starting point for the skirts. We just have to attach the sheet metal to the truck and mark it with the template. All right, so this is the point where I say, any last wishes? It's easy to get carried away on this fender skirt concept, so we're throwing a bunch of tape lines to ensure we get the right line. You just don't want to cut too much. You know, this solid rod gets tacked right below it, so when it comes in here to the curve, it'll flow it right through.
From back here, look at that thing. Now there's depth in the fender.
Wow, that's cool. This fender skirt in place, I'll duplicate it on the other side. I'll finish it off with a piece of rod, and then these things are just about ready for body work. My job is done here.
Yeah, no, it looks good. That really came out nice. The only thing left to figure out is the back, and you could do that. You have point A, point B. You get that rounded off. That one's an easy one.
The front and side of this cruise liner concept, I think we nailed it. The real thing to sell the whole concept is going to be the entryway, the back end. It's got to count. Look at this. The whole tube chassis is full of water. As soon as I welded it, it popped open, boiling in there. This may not be a good sign. She's already springing a leak and we haven't even set sail on the maiden voyage. It is an ocean-going vessel after all. It's all that salt water rusting out the chassis. It comes with the territory. You're building a boat, there's gonna be some water, you know? We may be installing a bilge pump sometime in the near future. That's the strangest thing I've ever seen.
Ian, check this out. I was at Pomona this Sunday, got a couple things to enhance the back. Hopefully they'll fit.
That seems like way too easy on your taillight decision. That's a first. It's pretty good that Victor's got his taillight game on. Thing is, we don't know what the heck the back of this vehicle is gonna look like, so maybe it's a little premature coming in with the finishing touches when we haven't even started.
By the way, Ian, that looks cool, man.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm so in it, I forgot. Yeah, we did all the body work on the fenders and everything. The other side's still in steel, but while I was working on the other fender, they came in.
That's clean.
I'm glad to get rid of this because the initial concept for the old rig was never truly established. There was a lot of weird fabrication. It's all kind of dented and rusty. It's nice to just get it fresh and ready for reconstruction.
That's definitely a clean slate right there. Without that back on there, it's like, wow, what do we do?
This is when the chickens come home to roost. You know, I've been hearing about this, the whole project, and now we know the real story. It's not gonna be that easy.
We're gonna have a little bit of work ahead of us. There's too many lines that are gonna be difficult to make them flow and look good.
This is par for the course. Everything is easy on paper, right? And every time it comes right back and bites you in the ankle.
It's not gonna happen just us looking at it confused.
I'm already thinking ahead. Check this out. That's the largest piece of template board in the house. There's only one way I know how to work through problems, and that's start building. We just let the metal naturally curve. Look at that, right? So it's curling under. It's meeting the fender, right? So the fender will be unchanged. Yeah, and then from that, with this being open, I can build all the structure for the step, the fuel tank holder, and whatever else.
If you do that, it's almost like a boat tail kind of looking thing.
Just keep feeding it in. What's there not to like about that? Just laying out this cardboard template, I could tell it's gonna work out just fine. I just take the steel, I put it in the brake, see, and I put a curve on it. So you have this very mellow V, like the back of a canoe or like the front of the hood almost.
Exactly.
Let me just get this kind of mocked up as a nice sheet metal surround. Your task, I know you struggle with certain things and we're gonna need taillights. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. I got some ideas and nothing's gonna really sell it like putting some work in. I can form it, I can bend it, I can do a whole bunch of stuff. I just wanna see what it does and how to streamline the process. See how it's buckling right here, but not buckling there? That's the idea. It's pretty basic, and it will get styled out a bit with some taillights. For now, you know, a step and access point. Just by pushing these in a little bit, that brings it to the same contour as this radius, but now this is rolling a little bit too. And I'm gonna border it with some 1/2 inch solid round rod. That'll give it a lot of structure. Once I got the majority of the sheet metal in place, there was just a few areas to splice in, and then we got right to the bodywork. And all my theorizing, philosophizing, contemplating, and consideration, I've decided that this fit-up looks best with the fenders.
You know, the only issue that I always had was I don't want people falling out of this thing. One rev of the engine and I have all my cool people on the ground. That ain't cool.
Yeah, it's like the guy who puts all this stuff in the back of his truck and pulls out of the parking lot, right? We have two critical issues with the rear of this truck. Problem one is people getting in the vehicle, and the inevitable problem number two is people falling out of the back when you get on the gas.
So what's the solution?
That is a major issue. It's like point A, style, point B, safety.
Practicality.
Practicality. So I got one practical solution, and that's with this floorboard. I was thinking this would just come in to this level and just set right down. So it's kind of like the gangway on a ship, right? You're walking up this level. This is where the story gets even better. That license plate, it's a little bit of magic. We're gonna put an actuator underneath here with a push button. So when you push the button, your step comes out.
The license plate is a step. That's brilliant. I don't want to, get your head any bigger than it is, but that's cool.
That's what I thrive on, Somebody's expecting something, it's like, but wait, there's more.
How about after a couple beers, how am I going to keep them from falling off to the side?
With the chromes, Holmes, we're gonna put some chrome on the back of this thing. Polished aluminum handrails, just like on a boat. Not that they'll be this shape, but here's a perfect representation, right? I'm this wide, so you have something that comes off the base, turns to roughly this angle, so when you're getting in, it's this high. Handrails, right? It's gonna help you get on board, and then it's gonna be two features, Victor. It does two things. So not only when you get in, you have something to grab right here, right? But you come in here, and then when the people are sitting, that same structure comes up and turns the corner. So it's wide open, but now there's something holding people in. You get in, and it keeps you there. It looks nice and airy, open, but it's also got the ability to keep people on board.
Pretty cool.
And also when they're sitting, you grab right here, you're up, and then you're out.
All right, let's go for a worst case scenario. We adjust it later. I mean, I've adjusted a couple things in my day.
Never gonna do anything sane or typical. This is right up my alley. Here we are, another crazy concept. Handrails on the back of a boat truck thing. Here we go. The first step is to narrow the radius of this ring until it matches that of the bench seats. This is like steering the ship, man. You should be on this. Left turn. All right. That's it, man.
You make it look easier than what it is.
Well, why do you think I'm always sweating like a pig? It's taken a bit, but now that I have Victor working, I can slowly transfer into that managerial position I've been aiming for. Left turn, Captain. All right, you're halfway there. Thing is, if we had a plan, we'd probably be done already. That's the whole issue here is we start with something, see what it looks like, consider what's possible, what looks right, and move forward. Our process is pretty unique, very unorthodox, but we get results.
All right, so this is what all that twisting has led up to. A vertical post somewhere around here. This matches the radius of your seat perfectly. So that comes up on a vertical leg. And this joins up to that, like so. So you got this cool swoopy thing, matches the seat contours, and is a usable people holder inner. Once we got the second one in, that's what it's all about. This seals the deal.
Now it looks like a boat. What's your problem?
Victor's happy with it. I'm really happy with it because you're really seeing off the interior. These pillars that hold it up will be completely hidden with the fabric, so it'll just look like a perfect aluminum shape coming through the floorboards and disappearing into the seat ends. And then when you get here, oh man, that is right on the spot. It's like a chiropractic chair. Love it. If you know me, you know that I am off the grid. Don't answer the phone, got no mailing address to the public.
Now I'm getting your mail to my doorstep from Australia.
Somehow they still track me down.
I don't know how they tracked you down. Nobody can track me down, man. Whoa, look at that.
Hey, and you look good in that, man. You should be in movies.
It's gonna be a tough break from my old straw hat, man. This is classy, though.
Talking about your new look, I got a new look for the truck.
Hey, now that you're in such a good mood, I've got one more change. Again? Yes, that's the case.
After looking at it and seeing it come together, the window we originally chose that looks like a boat, I'm not feeling it that much anymore.
He comes barging through the door with the old windshield that was on the truck.
Remember this? Check this out. But that's not the look I see. You cut this, weld this in, and I see it just like that.
My first reaction is, Victor, you're chickening out. We're on a boat, damn it.
You know, the thing is, that makes it more look like a vehicle. This boat windshield, it just kind of didn't feel right. It looked awesome, but the way the rest of the vehicle is fleshing out with the fenders, etc., it fits with the era of the vehicle, you know? Okay, fine, we got the whole boat theme going on, but all in all, it is this giant bubble-fendered vehicle. Yeah, I thought this was gonna be a lot harder sell, but you're right.
I feel like this Zephyr cruise liner has made a turn in a great direction. You know, there's a lot more to do, but I think I'm going champagne shopping. This boat is almost ready for the christening. We have finally arrived. West Coast Customs Cruising Nationals. It's on. You could go way overboard with a decision like this and end up with some weird thing with an anchor hanging off it and who knows what. All the choices with this were really ambitious, but it made a couple key decisions that, you know, swung it in our favor. To really add to the boat theme, he pinstriped it to look sort of like a hardwood old school boat, and he went with the proper flooring, and makes it look like a deck. Really just nail this concept. He went and blacked out all the chrome. Really makes the rims stand out even more. The idea with the rims, dynamite. I see people going over there touching them. You see the little moon logo, and then it makes sense.
I kind of do things as a joke. I said, I'm gonna put a Zephyr on a Chevy pickup, just kind of threw it, just a thought came into my mind. And for you to achieve it and put it into proportion, this vehicle looks like it came out of the factory like that. I've already seen a lot of older people saying, oh yeah, Zephyr cruise liner, I remember that.
He always has to build something really good to blow everyone's mind. You know, I think that's his whole deal. I mean, look at these guys, they can't get enough of it.
Congratulations on your new baby.
But I retired, I think, this time for at least 3 months.
Give it 48 hours.
yeah.
We'll see how you feel in the morning. Friday night, it's cruise night. The vehicles are driving. All of a sudden, Gene Winfield is like the barker, right? He's like, step right up, ladies. The cruise liner is about to leave port.
Excuse me, excuse me.
Hello, Victor.
Watch your toes.
Victor is all smiles. He's all for it.
All right, Ian, get in.
There's too many people in here. I don't agree with this. Call the Coast Guard.
Excuse me, pardon me, coming through.
This is exactly what Victor wanted, a party on wheels. Max capacity, and we're about to set sail. People are yelling. Hector, nice ride.
Remember when I first showed you this project, Ian? And said, see that front end of that Zephyr? I want it on that Tiki truck, which my brother owned.
That's the whole thing, dude. Every time I'm sitting in here, I'm thinking about Manny and his passion for this vehicle. And here we are, dude. It's happening.
Victor is all smiles. It's a tribute to his brother. It was their project, their collaboration for a long time. Here it is revamped. All it took was 2 extra tires. All these vehicles out here, they have 4 tires.
Yeah,
You got them up by 2, baby.
I got them all.
Talk about rolling out the welcome mat. My good buddy Victor called me up and asked me to stop by. Who knows what he's thinking. To what do I owe the honor of this presentation?
Bring back any memories?
It's one of those moments, you know, like when you approach the pearly gates, then your life passes before your eyes. You get to see all your past decisions, and all these cars are lined up. I'm wondering what's going on.
I mean, look at this.
Yeah, you forget how much nonsense we've been through. 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and that's not even all of them. It's crazy. You know, we have tunnel vision working as a team, so we just go from one to the next, you know, no hindsight. And this is a look into the past. It's like, what have we done here?
Remember what we started with? I used to have doors. Remember, it's due to the diamonds.
This really exemplifies why I'll do anything for Victor. He's like the ideal client, you know? He follows everything through to the finish, and he has the entire volume of work stored and ready to cruise at any time. Victor just keeps stacking them.
This has been a year since we completed this car.
Right.
So,
Time flies,
you know,
man.
I always said, I'm done, but hey, now I'm bored.
Right. And there it is, Victor's bored. It could be a signal that we're potentially entering dangerous waters. You're not thinking about changing all this up, are you?
Nothing. We're done. And the reason why I have everything out, I don't want to duplicate what we've achieved already. I want to build another vehicle, and I guess the word is spectacle, right? These are cars, these are, you know, radical custom.
Sure.
But this is half a spectacle. I need a full spectacle. Let's go out of the box on this one.
I love that idea. You know, this style car, right? It's like, that's just my jam. You know, I love the sleds and the customs. They're super cool, but I like the freak show.
And I guess that's a word. I guess I say spectacle and you say freak show. Now we got to combine those. And that's what I'm looking to build, something that'll bring all this attention, but times 10.
Well, you know, as your therapist, I could say that this is clearly a deepening addiction, you know, when just enough isn't enough anymore and you need something more to get your kicks. Those are some of the warning signs starting the show. Man, ever since I left Victor's, I've been ruminating, you know, like, what could I possibly do to up my game? Victor said, no holds barred. I think this is really gonna turn up the heat a little on his request. The perfect starting point. Victor wanted weird. Welcome to the boat show. I gotta say, you know, my own guilty pleasure. This is a true bucket list potential accomplishment for me, and that's why I never got rid of this thing. Now, I know what everybody's thinking. It's not gonna be a boat. It just happens to be an optimal fiberglass shape. It's very streamlined. I love the nose. I love the dashboard. Look at that steering wheel. Look at the gauges. This thing's awesome. It just speaks to me, right? I got a weird thing, I guess, for like history. I look at it and I picture it like in its heyday, like cruising the lake, super flaky paint on it, you know, just a good time machine. Even Victor, with his expanded consciousness, doesn't know what I'm thinking about. And I don't know if I could pull this off. He might just go for it. I'm gonna bring this back to the shop and get to work. This is one of those ideas that might need a little explaining. Even for the most envisionary of envisioners, this concept could be a potentially hard sell. You're like, oh, it's a boat. And I'm saying, no, it's not a boat, but it's a boat, but it's not. See what I did there? Needs a little more explaining. So here's where the story gets interesting. It's not gonna be in the water. It's gonna be driving across the desert in a most peculiar way. Hence all the parts I've gathered thusly. I got a junk engine, I got a junk transmission. That's just for the mock-up. The real gems are right here, look at these. Mickey Thompson Sportsman tires. Just imagine some of these guys putting the power to the ground. So, you know, setting the tire outside like that, you know, it looks like, well, anybody could do that. It looks like the boat's on a trailer, right? I don't want that. That's where this rear axle comes in. It's out of a Taylor-Dunn utility cart, kind of like an industrial strength golf cart. Look how narrow it is. These things come with a Ford 9-inch that's narrowed. That's dragster stuff right there. I just set the tire in place there, but that's not what I want to see. See, with this narrowed rear axle, and all of a sudden, this fits in here. So the side of the boat looks like it's supposed to. So what I'm trying to do is not make this like a car that's wearing a boat. It's like the boat is actually designed to drive. Like a speedboat, like a drag boat on a dry lake bed. I got this frame from Speedway. It's a T-bucket chassis. It's all set up for the rear springs. The front axle mount is there. I'm gonna have to modify it for sure, but this is a brand new unit. That'll be perfect. I'm all bristling with enthusiasm, but I may be getting ahead of myself. If I can't just show this stuff to Victor. As much as I'm working on my concept, I'm also working on my sales pitch. These two things go hand in hand for the success of this project. Look, Victor, this is what you get. Like, you're driving around like this, like a boss. Captain's hat on, aviator sunglasses, big V8 engine behind you, pulsing away, glitter flying off of you. The boat will be glistening, mustache is perfect, and you're just like cruising down the lane. Now, looking at this whole mock-up, I could see we're missing one critical element. You know, there's no front tires. And it would be simple to just throw in a Camaro front clip or some aftermarket thing, but you know, I need something that says race day on the lake. I think I might just know where to find something that fits the bill.
What's up, Ian?
Man, you have an ever-evolving inventory. And you got cooler stuff every time I come out here.
That's what it's all about, isn't it?
I met Tom at the Pomona swap meet years ago, and we've been friends ever since. Tom is a longtime hot rodder. Now in his retirement, he's, a hobby builder, but he's also a consummate collector of all things cool. When I got that Jeep body from you, I was walking through your scrap tubing section, and I saw this thing. This is like the real deal, man.
It's a slingshot dragster front end, if you look.
I can tell. I'm building this crazy contraption, and I need these spoke wheels, man. This
Oh,
thing
wow,
is
that's
too
cool. What are you gonna build?
A drag boat. See, this is what I'm talking about. I need to have this whole concept laid out, well represented to really make that sales pitch count. It's like a drag boat, right?
Yeah.
But it's a drag boat with tires.
Yeah.
So it's like a dragster.
It's not in the water, though,
Without
right?
the water. It's a drag boat without the water. Desert drag boat.
I like it when you go crazy with stuff.
That's why I needed these parts, because it's like the same era, right? So if you're gonna build like a vintage drag boat, you need the parts to fit the bill.
Man, I'd love to see you do something with this.
Oh, I got something.
If you want it, it's yours.
I appreciate it, man. I think I have all the pieces to commence construction on my greatest sales pitch to date. I'll meet you back at the boat club. Making some progress on this boat. Just cut out a whole bunch of stuff. I just kind of want to come up with a wheelbase measurement. These two big tires are gonna set in there, and man, it's gonna be tight. I wanna sit ahead of the engine, and I want these big tires back here. Unfortunately, and fortunately for me, there's no blueprint for this kind of thing. It's all about envisioning and an old school mock-up to see how it's all gonna come together. First on the list is to narrow the frame 4 inches so that it'll fit up with the rear end. I know I want to cut the chassis off here, put a cross member, and lay it back out. Number one benefit of starting with a prefabricated chassis is, it's square, it's strong, it's proven. No guesswork in that. 25, remember that, 25 inches. This is the part where it starts to get really loose. Metal turns to spaghetti. That one goes there. What was that number I told you to remember? It's only a natural evolution in my mock-ups. I was starting with cardboard boxes and masking tape, right? Now I'm taking brand new car chassis and hacking them up. So you may be thinking, wow, that's quite a fine mess you've created there. But I thought this through. So let's put it back together, shall we? One thing I know is a pile of cardboard boxes and some masking tape is not gonna sell this concept. I gotta go right into it. Look at that, it's a mini chassis. Create sort of a working model of it. I'm doing this for both the look and the function. Now that that's set up, these can go inside here. The end result is you have rear suspension. The next step is to set up the front end and figure out how to incorporate that dragster look. This critical measurement I've laid out both in marker and in chalk is a trade secret. I'll put a pin in the table right there, just like the golden spike on the transcontinental railroad. It's that important. In thinking about the front end design of this, the dragster look was appropriate. It's a boat, right? It doesn't have like a big heavy front end on it, so the spoke wheels and the lightness of that style chassis, I think it fits just right. It's like ring toss. Look at that. That's your spring perch right there. You didn't know where I was going. You were thinking mini chassis. What's going on here? The boat's that big, but the chassis is actually this long. For my next trick, I shall fuse some round tube for the front of this chassis. The design here is built for speed. So with this arrangement of tubes, it's really gonna give a sleek, low-profile design with a lot of strength. Exactly the look I was going for was that pile of trash I picked out of Tom's backyard, you know? Revisiting that slingshot vintage dragster look. Really long wheelbase, super light front end. That's what I'm looking at. How do you feel about it? In a world of top fuel dragsters, this stands alone. It's the most ridiculous concept ever put forth. Next step, victory. That 9-inch housing had this big unit bolted to the front of it. What you used to have was an electric motor bolted up back here. So the electric motor sat in here with another gear that turned the pinion gear that made the car go. I'm just taking the pinion gear out of that and I'm gonna modify it with original Ford parts. They're harder and harder to come by, but I was able to scrap around to link up to that automatic transmission. Can you dig it? I love the challenge of using stuff that's not supposed to go where you want to put it. Oh yeah, it's a golf cart rear axle in there. People are like, what? Like, yeah. I think that's my problem. I'm an adrenaline junkie. I get freaked out, man, and I love the challenge of trying to get this stuff to work. All this is gonna get rebuilt for sure. It's just, look, here's a placeholder. We got 350 transmission, Chevy 350 engine. I think these valve covers are gonna sell it. Victor's gonna take one look at the chrome and the possibilities. Come on, sucker. Building a vintage dragster is one thing, but building this spectacle boat thing is a completely different accomplishment. You know, dragster's got one purpose, go that way really fast. Victor wanted a spectacle. The whole thing is, can we put a couple seats in this with the boat body on it? Down the rabbit hole we go. She's listing, Captain. She's going hard to broadside. Now to port. Now to port, Captain. She's gonna go over. Every crazy concept comes down to one element absolutely working. Whose idea was this? And this, ladies and gentlemen, is that moment. She's heavy. She's heavy. No pressure. Just drop her down. Oh, brother. I'm into it now. I'm a troubleshooter by nature, so I'm looking at this, I'm like, it's got potential. It could work, it could work. I like the wheelbase, but always with the next challenge and the problems in the back of my mind. That darn engine is way too far forward. I tell you, there's nothing like the sound of that V8 engine ringing in your ear. I love the concept, and that's the thing. I want to sell Victor the concept, but I don't want to sell him something that I can't accomplish, so I'm looking at troubles. Position of the engine is a little bit, the fitment of the rear tires in the back of the boat, the overall stance of it. The first thing you have to think of when you look at it is, oh, that's cool. Not quite there yet. I mean, the look is there. That engine's just in the way. Looking at the back, I think I can afford to lose a little boat in the rear section. Huh. I got all kinds of room. Now, this all adds up to that moment in your teens, like when you told your parents you were cleaning your room all day and they're on the way home and you gotta really follow through on the goods. Just a little more desert treasure. Haven't quite accomplished everything I need to, and El Jefe is on his way over for inspection. I'm not showing him too much, just showing him ideas. Everything in its place. Walk in with an air of elegance. I don't know, I think I got in real deep on this one. The moment is upon us. Honest Ian's used boat emporium is open for business, and we're about to make our first sale. All right, man, now I want you to close your eyes for this.
I'll cover 'em.
You're gonna need a clear and open mind to digest this whole thing. Don't be startled, just let your spirit soar, Victor.
All right, let's see what you got here.
It's been said, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. The man wanted a crazy spectacle. I give to you the drag boat. Ta-da!
What is it?
Exactly. It's not what you're thinking, and it's not what it looks like. These are the parts that I've chosen to be our new project. So far, so good. I mean, he hasn't run out of the room yet.
I mean,
He's not really smiling, he's not really frowning.
I have no words right now. Give me a few minutes to absorb what I'm looking at now.
I can't really say what I was expecting his reaction to be, because I really didn't know how I was going to react to looking at it again either. So we're both kind of in the same boat.
They said freaky.
Yeah.
That's like, who in their right mind would do what you just did here? You know, I heard there was a lot of mercury in the grounds here from the 20s, whatever they were doing here with the government, and it affects your mind, but shit.
When you go to your favorite restaurant and you order your favorite thing from the same menu, you pretty much know what you're gonna get. Or you could order something new, use the words like crazy and freaky, and you never know what you're gonna get. Victor's a creative guy, so I see him looking at this, and I think the best course of action is for me to explain my idea. You know, this concept of a dragster that's wearing a boat body, but it's still at heart a dragster, crazy spectacle, kind of show car. Hopefully it'll get his gears turning. It's a match made in heaven.
My lights are turning on. I just pictured this thing. That thing is rad.
Sold.
I see this blower on it. I see these wheelie bars on this one, right?
That's what I was getting at. It's literally a dragster, right? I think I should get Salesman of the Year from the Drag Boat Society.
Then we got to talk about body modifications. It might as well have some wings on it too, right?
Hey.
This thing is aerodynamic now. Maybe we'll break the sound barrier.
Like many things in life, this is a delicate situation, and I'm not quite sure it's time yet to awake the enhancement monster.
I just see we have to do some modifications with
I think you know what I'm talking about. Anything could happen at that point.
all bets are off. We're going crazy. You want to talk about a spectacle? You just opened up a whole new can of worms here, buddy.
Just another day in the shop, convincing my friends to do these ridiculous projects with me. I think we're off in the right direction.
Now, do you have any Alka-Seltzer?
So Victor was satisfied with the crazy boat concept, but after talking with him, I wasn't fully satisfied. I needed something more. Having that V8 engine sitting up behind those front seats, it just wasn't enough. I need it back here, behind the tires. The whole thing with all these projects is it's gotta look right in the end. And I mean, that kind of stress, that angst is what makes me go further to make sure that everything falls in the way we need it. In the end, these headers are gonna need some clearance around the tires, but what kind of concept doesn't need to go full custom? All of a sudden, it's like, wait, what? Engine in the back? Exhaust coming out like a jet boat? And that leads up to the biggest question mark of the whole arrangement. Like, with the drive shaft sticking towards the front of the vehicle, how is it rear-wheel drive? And once Victor agreed to this crazy boat concept, I started doing a little research, talking to a few people, you know, found a few guys who are into the speedboats, and they're like, yeah, no, every boat that's arranged like this uses a V-drive. So it's like the power goes forward, just like it would in a car, but it's backwards. So it goes towards the front and then right back out to the propeller. My friend out near Ventura, you know, out by the sea, he's like, we got V-drives, we got boats all over the place. So he shows me this thing. Seeing this unit, it makes perfect sense. So it's in and out. And he had these cool mounting plates too, cast aluminum. They go right on the side.
I'm gonna work my way from front to back to make this a rolling chassis, and the dragster steering is just about complete. This is a very traditional hot rod arrangement. You know, the drag link steering setup is what you would have on any T-bucket hot rod. It looks lightweight and cool. Perfect choice for this. It's got a body on it, but I still want to see all that raw fabrication, you know? You see all the action. You see the engine actually spinning. There's no hood on it. One of my favorite things. All right, last things last is this cool steering column and the classic 3-prong steering wheel. You know, with my eyes closed, I'm picturing myself out on the lake. I mean, out on the drag strip or at the car show. Either way, it steers. So this looks solid. I want to get the rear end in pretty much the same arrangement, you know, proof of concept. I'm gonna have to set up this V-drive and figure out how it's gonna attach to the chassis. Seeing that in place just seals the deal. Now there's plenty of room for seating. You're away from that big hot engine, and you can see already, right into the V-drive from the trans, and that lower output shaft is basically pointing at the differential. The engine, transmission, and drive line are all mounted off of these 2 heim joints. That's the magic of like the wheelie action. So this is all going to be one substructure. That the whole engine, trans, and drive line is all in one piece and it pivots together. The mounts on the V-drive are set up for a boat. They're a little wide, so I'm gonna cut those down, then create some steel plates that I can weld to the truss structure I already have in place. The whole concept here is engine, transmission, rear axle, and now V-drive are all of the same assembly. So this truss structure that I'm building keeps everything, you know, all the spinning mechanical parts in line and strong. I brought the boat out here and put it on the lift because I was gonna have them help me install the thing, but I guess it's up to me, as usual. Well, let's push this thing out and see how it lines up. Even though the boat body's been on there before, it's critical that it sits properly. Otherwise, the whole presentation will be off. My master plan will be foiled. Hey, look who it is. Fair weather friend. You're just in time for the boat. Check it out. Yeah, my plan with this whole setup was see how I cut the hull. It's gonna sit right on the front spring perch. Pretty much like that. So that's level, right? But I was thinking I want it more aggressive, like a speedboat. So I'm gonna go lower in the back. That really sets the look. It looks like it's on plane, right? It's taking off. Really showing off the engine. You know, the tires are up above, and then these big exhaust pipes just coming out. I'm gonna put these rear mounts in and roll it out from this lift and take a look at it. This is what it all adds up to, you know? First impressions. I'm looking at this thing like it's the first time. It looks fast. That's what I was going for. It's definitely weird. Stance, when you look at it, it's gotta have some kind of attitude. For me, a lot of times it's like nose down, right? For whatever reason, that looks a little more aggressive. Not this one. A boat does the exact opposite. It looks like it's ready to hop in the lake and go cruising. It's gonna make a real statement at the local boat ramp. See, now you really see how the suspension works. The body, the whole boat is suspended on springs. The engine is locked down to the rear tires. Now that I see everything working as it should visually, I'll get some body mounts in order and prepare for a 3-hour tour of Ian's Island. So this worked out really good. This 1-inch tube will come off of the frame and just grab the boat with a metal plate and some bolts. So I'll do the same thing up here, right where the bottom of the seat's gonna mount. A big challenge next is the seating and the steering. I want a nice, cushy seat and some real solid feeling steering. I wouldn't say it's ready to set sail quite yet, but it's definitely on a roll. Victor's really been going the extra mile in the last few projects with the upholstery, so what I'm doing is just setting up a good groundwork for him to do his magic. So I'm just gonna slice through these tubes so I can take the seat out, then I'll be able to finish it on the bench where it's flat. Whose crazy idea was this? Build a seat that you can't take out of the vehicle. At first I was thinking that the whole corner of the seat would wrap around like this far, but I realized you don't need that much seat. So I'm gonna take the tube, bend it, attach here, and then just curve right into that.
I had 3 S's. I gotta say, the sitting's looking the best out of the 3. I'm giving Victor the whole project in this rough, unfinished form, and it's up to him. Like, what kind of upholstery, what kind of paint? Who knows? Maybe he's got enhancements. It's a pretty wild concept. I'm super interested to see what he's thinking. A few loose ends to wrap up in this project, and it's ready for the master enhancer. Ready or not, here we come. In an effort to continue my salesmanship, I need to set this car up to really make an impression on Victor. I think he needs to see it in motion. Ahoy! Nice day for a cruise. It doesn't move on its own, but it does stop and steer, and that's all I need for this presentation. Welcome to the cartoon world, sir. That's about as spectacle-y as I could make it. Everything's in place, the mounts are there, the body's this floating, springy design.
You have motion in the ocean.
It's like you're on a boat. It's basically a fully functioning rolling chassis ready to drop in a running engine and transmission.
I said crazy spectacle, and I got what I asked for. I should watch my mouth next time. The fab is done. This is a piece of art now. Now I'm afraid to cover anything up. The thing already says I'm crazy, I'm nuts, look at me. I don't want to have them put me in an asylum right off the bat. I could just literally do the interior and paint it, and it's done. But then I haven't done my part, and it's not fair to you.
That's right. It's not fair to me unless you get all the details filled in. Like all the rest of our projects, I'm sure this will be a back and forth process, but I think I'm going to hightail it out of here before Victor starts getting a little too deep. We all know how this could go. I'm really looking forward to seeing what your vision is for it, right? And then ultimately, the test drive. No holds barred. Do what you do. Victor's process is typically not fast and usually requires a lot of revisions. So after I left, I was surprised to get an SOS from him the very next day. Jumping Jehoshaphat.
I had visions, I couldn't sleep.
Well, I gotta say, that escalated quickly. Victor looks a little frantic. I see inspiration in his eyes. He's a man in motion. He's got a good concept. I work the same way, so I'm just like being supportive. You know, I see what his potential is here. It's just developing. I was pretty surprised to come back the next day. I mean, seriously, 16 hours later, and he's got these 2 fins and taillights mocked up on this thing, as well as some kind of weird headgear arrangement. I mean, look at this.
That's you, man. That enhances your forehead.
All jokes aside, this project's on a new path, and I'm up for the ride. It's been a few days, so let's see what kind of nonsense Victor's got going on in his shop. Wow, this looks cool.
I disassembled it all. I wanted to powder coat the whole frame, and that way you could really see the fabrication you put in. And some minor modification to the body. A little bit of wing action here.
I gotta say, this man's a hustler. All that fiberglass work looks awesome. Rebuilt the engine, the transmission, powder coated the chassis. I mean, what's not to like about this setup? These wings are next level. Just seeing it in foam was one thing, but now it looks like he took a surfboard and cut it in half and stuck some taillights in it. I'm feeling it, man. I love this.
Yeah, that's an instrument panel to a 1959 Ford Edsel. The speedometer goes sideways.
Like this boat's gonna go when you get on the throttle.
We don't know if it's gonna go up, down, float, or sink, but at least we got a cool instrument panel.
In addition to all the other progress, there's this newest element of this swooping front shape across the dashboard area of the boat. It's super unique. That's such a weird element. I would have never come up with that, but I see it now. It's like if it was to splash water, the water would just go right around the driver and the passenger.
Well, it's like, what do you do? I think you're nuts and I'm a little nuts too. Not as bad as you, but
hey,
I'm getting there. As we keep working together, we gotta be careful.
This thing is looking crazy cool.
That's it. It's mine are just 1, 2 things. That's it.
Perfect. It's just what it needed.
And that's why I brought you down here to number 1. Give me approval on what you see. I need you to help me put the motor back in the dragster and put the dragster underneath the boat. I don't know, that doesn't sound right, but...
Yeah, no, I came up with that concept. I'm familiar with the whole procedure, Captain. Probably not gonna be as simple as I explained to Victor. You know, like everything else that's full custom, there's gonna have to be some workarounds.
Hey, Ian, I feel like I'm on the drag racing pit crew.
Back it up.
Watch your fingers.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades here.
Victor's like the conductor at the orchestra. You know, that's who he is. He's not the guy turning wrenches and spraying stuff, but he is in charge of a large number of resources, and he conducts his orchestra pretty well.
Ian, so did you have to bend that oil pan or what?
No, this thing was dropped in the backyard, remember? It made its own clearance, so I just figured, hey, I'll use it.
So in other words, if I change that to a chrome one, I got to adjust it somehow.
You got to throw it on the ground a few dozen times, yeah. I gotta say, I forgot to mention to Victor, hey, by the way, don't take the body off the boat. I didn't design it that way. I literally hung the boat in position and it's welded in a whole bunch of brackets. I can't believe they got it off of the chassis in one piece.
Down.
Come forward.
Yeah.
Right there.
No, this side.
Yeah, we gotta do the opposite. Did you have the tires off or something? If building a drag boat spectacle was easy, then everybody'd be doing it. Or would they?
Well, how did you do it? Up.
Right there, yeah, you got
up.
it. What did you do? There's a lot of shaking and bobbing and squirming and worming to get this thing back in place, isn't it, fellas?
On three. 1, 2, 3. All right. But we have to lock it
gotta
in the
latch
front
this.
first. Pull that from underneath. Yeah, pull that. Okay, there you go.
got it.
Now put it down.
Hold
Oh,
it,
wait.
come forward again.
Come forward again. Okay.
Backwards. The thing is, everybody thinks it's my fault, right? It's like, oh, what knucklehead built it this way? You can't even put it back together. Lift up and back.
Okay, lift up in the back.
You were not supposed to take the boat apart.
Take it down.
Okay, drop
All right,
it.
drop it down.
Ever.
All right, pull it down. All right, you got it. Who said you couldn't do that? Just don't do it again. All right, are you guys ready? I'm ready.
Hell yes.
I got my captain hat on.
Amongst the struggle, it's great to see Victor keeping the spirit alive.
Good job.
That's what it's all about. Rally the troops, keep the morale high, stay the course. I'm telling you, this is the proverbial icing on the cake. It's all happening right in front of us. Stance, awesome. The fins, I wasn't expecting. The intake, looking good. It's really under development now.
Things you come up with, I don't know about you.
What's hidden behind door number 1? Well, at Victor's house, you know and I know, you never really know. Holy wingdings.
Now you know how I felt when you brought it to me.
Oh, yes. This is perfect, man. Victor never ceases to amaze nor disappoint. The bodywork is on point. It looks like it's one fabricated piece. It's awesome. This is something I was a little bit hesitant about, but like you say, it's always got to have that kind of voluptuous curve in some place, right? The fins really help with this exhaust. You know, this thing was so low in the back, it was all this stuff jumping out of the rear of it. The fins make it all come together.
That softens it up.
I really like the way Victor handled the back end of this boat. It was a big cut open gaping hole, and he took the piece that I cut out, modified that, and made the same detail, but now there's plenty of room for the engine and radiator. If you didn't see this boat before, you would think that you found some kind of exotic speedboat from the 60s or 50s.
It's definitely out there. I mean,
Yeah.
you were out to lunch on this one.
I'm gonna get my cape. I'm gonna get some special high-heeled sneakers and sunglasses. It's gonna be nice.
My only goal is I don't want it to be the Bat boat. You know, right off the bat, oh, Batmobile wings. It ain't the Batmobile. It's an Ian spectacle. Now we gotta paint this thing, Ian, but we have to paint it to complement the boat without it looking like, you know, I need a cape to drive it.
That's one thing I think I excel at in regards to Victor's response to what people will think of his projects. I'm just like, yeah, whatever, take it for what it is. And he's like, no, it's not that. Before Bob gets here, Victor and I are gonna hash out a few paint ideas. Man, like, where's he going with this? Is he gonna like make it all crazy lowrider? Is it gonna be like the flow of the ocean? Or like, what's he even thinking? It seems pretty fresh. I like his ideas. Well, it complements the actual embossing in the side of it too.
And
Same
that's
vibe,
true, I didn't
right?
even think of that. I got 4 colors, but we're only gonna use 3. I see the whole side orange and the wings orange. And then the purple goes in between there. And then whatever else we add.
Yeah, just tell Bob that exactly. Just majority of it's orange and then put some purple on it, little silver.
no green. It's just a little sprinkle of pepper and a little spice. Everything's nice.
That's it.
That's perfect directions.
What the heck you got involved in here?
He did it. I didn't do nothing. Ian did it all.
Just as things are starting to get real loose, here comes Bob.
This is very cool.
He swoops in like the masked man in the nick of time.
Kind of feels like the Batmobile.
Uh-oh, who said the B word?
Good, I'm glad you said that because I want to get it out of your system. I don't want it to look like the Batmobile. That's why I brought you here to take that Batmobile look away. The paint scheme can't look like the Batmobile.
One rule in this shop, no bat time, no bat channel.
It has wings like the Batmobile. That's all it has in common. And Batman.
Well, let's lay out some lines, see what comes forth. Do you actually call this a boat?
We don't know what to call it. We're hoping you would help us out with that. Whenever I'm working with like an old school pro, I'm just kind of quiet because I'm looking at the technique, I'm looking at the ideas, that type of thing. As a one-man shop, I'm always trying to, figure out my resources, and this guy's an encyclopedia of paint design.
What do you think? Are we heading in the right direction?
I think so.
Ian told me never follow the rules.
We'll be right back. Same bat time, same bat channel. As the song goes, I've been through the desert on a boat with no name, and this fits the bill perfectly.
You brought me crazy, I give you crazy back, man.
What the heck have you done? This is out of control. I love it.
I had to bring you out in the desert where the aliens hang out because this just ain't right. Something's going on here. Our minds are drifting.
Walking up on this thing, it's a complete freak show. It's everything I could have imagined and more. Victor took it over the top. I mean, my concept was something, and he just went super double, triple extra on it. I don't know what to say. It's kind of next level.
Subtle crazy.
Crazy. It's crazy.
It kind of sounds like it looks.
Last time I saw it was a work in progress, and man, getting it all detailed out, get the chrome on it, the fins are all dialed in with the taillights and the paint. This thing is wild. In the sun at this angle, that foil is like, it's like neon. Look at that, it's just popping right off the surface. He did take it to the nursery and put it around, he said, and he's gonna park it there. Of course, it's a spectacle, but this has nothing to do with his marketing savvy. He's just looking to build this crazy thing, right? I know that guy. I love the interior too, man.
I just took all your extra hats and made the upholstery.
Super, super deluxe.
Well, you ready to take it for a test drive? I told you, you're driving it for the first time.
You don't gotta ask me twice.
Co-pilot ready for takeoff.
We don't need hats where we're going. Yeehaw! I think Victor was really digging it. You know, it's always a thing when you're building something, you never really have the time to step back. So I think this was good for him because he was like entrenched, right? They were doing all the stuff to finish it. So for him to get in the passenger seat and just cruise it, I think he felt really good about it.
Hey,
Let's put that over there. Oh, it's nice. Nice ride.
I think we need a steering wheel.
Oh. This is exactly like being on a boat on the water, except you're out on the concrete. It's the same feeling. Open air, you're just cruising along. Power's there. You know, the drive line through the V-drive, it handles it well. It's a mover. It's a lot like being out on the lake, man.
Feel the breeze,
Awesome.
The water hit your face.
Love it. It doesn't fit into a class of vehicle at all. So, you know, Victor's saying a spectacle, I'm saying cartoon car, just not like anything. There's only one of them in the world. That's the cool thing about it. Call it a success, man.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, hey, first trial run with the wind hitting your hair. Just one question, what do I say it is?
I don't know.
It's not a boat, it's not a car.
You know, you got to watch out what you ask for from now on. You left the slate wide open on this one, and look what happened. You need to be more specific next time.
You're demented or something.